The law of assumption will change your life. There is no other single thing that has changed my life quicker than the law of assumption. In this video, I'm going to walk you through exactly what the law of assumption is, how it differs from the law of attraction, the key element you need to know to put the law of assumption to work for you, and a quick overview of my life since I've incorporated the law of assumption. I'll go into a deeper dive of my entire story in a later video. Let's talk first about what the law of assumption is. Neville Goddard is one of my favorite teachers on the law of assumption. It is the cornerstone in all of his books, and his entire philosophy is based around it. Neville teaches that the way to create anything you desire is to simply assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled, which in turn means that your entire experience in life, all things that you are experiencing that you like and dislike, is a representation of where your consciousness currently stands. Neville teaches that changing your assumptions and assuming the presence of your desire is the only way to bring it into your life. He says action is irrelevant and that a shift in your consciousness is the only thing that matters. I'll give you my thoughts on this a little later in the video, along with the methods I've used with the law of assumption to change every area of my life. Here is one of the most important parts of the law of assumption: using your imagination. This is the most important part and can also be the hardest for most people. In order to assume your desire, you must act as though you have already received it. This is the most important part. In order to assume your desire, you must act as though you have already achieved it. Imagination is key here. The deeper you can imagine and feel that feeling you are imagining, the quicker you will experience it in the physical world. The key to all of this is imagining exactly what it is you want, acting as though you already have it, and feeling it as deep as possible. Let's walk through a quick example here to give you some clarity. I wanted to go to Hawaii forever. Honestly, probably 20 years. But it was a pipe dream, a hope, a someday goal. As I started diving into the law of attraction, I put a few pictures of Hawaii on my vision board, specifically the Nepali coast, and left it there hoping it would come true someday. As I moved into the law of assumption, I started taking those images I had placed on my vision board and putting them into my head. I would close my eyes and envision the coast. In my head, I would put myself on the boat. I would picture myself putting my hand in the water and feeling the warm water. I saw the dolphins swimming next to me, feeling how happy I would feel seeing those dolphins. I felt the beat of the music that was playing on the boat, the waterfall hitting my face as we barreled under it. I envisioned everyone on the boat being happy and having the most amazing time. I looked around the boat and took in the smiles and laughter of all the people on the boat. I let my heart swell with gratitude for everything that happened in that moment. Now, clearly, I had no idea what kind of boat I would truly be on. I didn't know who the people on the boat would be or if I would like them. I didn't know how the water would look or feel, or if I would see dolphins. But I envisioned everything I could that would bring me a deep amount of joy and happiness. By the time I was done with my envisioning exercise, I had tears of happiness running down my face. That is your goal. Every single time you do one of these exercises, that is the key. To feel it so deeply that you can feel your heart expanding. You can feel the joy inside of you so deeply that it brings tears to your eyes because you are so grateful for the experience. That's the one and only thing you need to focus on when it comes to the law of assumption. Feeling your desire as though it is done as deeply as possible, every single time. In just a couple of minutes, I'm going to share with you the way the trip to Hawaii manifested for me, but there's just a couple of more important things to go over regarding the law of assumption. Once you have achieved the state of feeling your desire so deeply and as though it has already happened, the last important piece is holding that feeling. If I'm being honest, this can be tricky. Acting as though, while you are sitting with your eyes closed, focused on your desire for 2 to 3 minutes is a lot easier than going through the day-to-day activities and stresses and holding your desire as deeply. This is where most people fail to apply the law of assumption. You have to persist. And persisting does not mean forcing. It means holding that same vision that you had of your desire being fulfilled. For my example, it meant every once in a while throughout the day, just being grateful for what I had experienced in Hawaii. even though it hadn't happened yet. I would just briefly take myself back there and express thanks for the trip I was able to go on. I would say things like, "Thank you for the trip to Hawaii. It was the best trip I've ever had. I'm so thankful for the people who were on my boat. They made the experience so fun. I loved that clear blue water. There was nothing else like it." And I would feel these imaginations as I was thinking them. That's the important part. Keep that feeling alive. It is already done. You've already experienced it. Only when you can maintain this feeling, despite it not actually happening yet, will you be able to have it manifest into your reality. Let's go back and talk about thinking the thoughts only and not taking action. Is it possible? Yes, it is possible. I've had small things in the last few years that have shown me evidence of that. In my experience, they have been small things that I haven't been attached to that I've been able to manifest without thinking much about them even. However, for the things that I really desire, I do like to use the law of assumption and also take action. Let's take the Hawaii trip. I started to really apply the law of assumption to Hawaii. There was a series of events that happened at the end of 2021 that resulted in me selling my business for 7 figures in January of 2022. I had to stay on board with that business for another 6 months. So in June of 2022, I was finished, completely free. That same weekend, I booked a trip to Hawaii for August. So I didn't have some magical experience in winning a free trip to Hawaii or someone handing me a plane ticket. I did take action. Do I believe if I had waited long enough, something like that would have happened? Yes, I do. However, I also believe in helping the process along faster by taking action. I also believe that the string of events that happened allowed me the time to go to Hawaii for 2 weeks and not have to work. I also have a never-ending supply of credit card points for traveling due to the way I ran my business, so my flight and car rental were free. One thing I never skimp on is where I stay. I believe my environment hugely affects my mind, my creativity, and the gratitude I have. When I stay in a very nice house, I am appreciative the entire time of how nice the house is and how grateful I feel to be able to afford it. And this only brings more to me, as we will discuss in another video. So I spent $10,000 to stay in an extremely nice house and celebrate selling my business. The reason I never went to Hawaii before was because of the time and money it would take. Selling my business allowed both of those obstacles to be gone, and I took action on a dream I had. And you better believe I went on an amazing rafting trip off the Nepali coast. And the water was just as blue and incredible as I felt in my vision. I had the most amazing boat captains and the most incredible people on the boat. And the dolphins swimming next to the boat were incredible. The only thing I forgot to focus on in my vision, perfectly sunny skies. But the rain was all part of the experience and fun, and I can't wait to go back and do it again on a perfectly sunny day. I'll be sharing more of the incredible life I've achieved by using the law of assumption in upcoming videos. I'll include how I grew not 1, but 2 7-figure businesses, how I lost 20 pounds and have maintained it for the last 5 years, how my relationships have grown deeper and deeper, and how I manifest everything I desire. Be sure to subscribe so you don't miss my 3-part series I have coming up that will change your life in every area. I appreciate you being here more than you know. My desire is to help you change your entire life. A life I never actually thought was possible is better than what I dreamed.